I entered the trade in 1996 through the apprenticeship program.
Okay.
So this year will actually be my 30th year in the union.
What is a union?
What I tell new members that don't understand the concept of a union is that we are a group of workers, usually in the same trade, like in floor covering, for example, that bands together to bargain for their wages, hours, and working conditions. And in the non-union world, when somebody feels they deserve a raise, they go to their boss by themselves and try to argue for why they think they deserve that raise. Whereas with us in a union, we all go together to all the bosses and bargain together.
How did you get into the union?
When I finished high school, I went to school for accounting, like bookkeeping type work. Knew I didn't want to go to a four-year college, but knew I needed to do something to get myself into a career. And I worked some jobs in that bookkeeping field. Didn't really have good benefits, didn't have decent wages with room for advancement. And I had an uncle that was a floor cover that actually started non-union for most of his career. He had moved up here to the Northwest and went to work for a union contractor up here. So he let me know about the apprenticeship program. It sounded amazing to me, and I entered the apprenticeship.
What sounded amazing?
The fact that I could learn a trade, something that would stay with me for the rest of my life, and the wages and benefits that came along with that trade.
How has being in the union impacted your life?
So very early on, I bought my first house. I think I was a 90% apprentice. And I don't know any kind of career where you could do something like that.
Yeah. How old were you when you bought that house?
When I was a 90% apprentice, so I think, you make me do math here, Mike. I came in 96, so it would have been 99, 27.
What would you say to somebody who is just starting their career or is in their 20s, looking for that path? What's the first thing you say to them about the next step they could take so that they could have the experience that you did?
So somebody that doesn't have experience in construction trades, definitely the apprenticeship is the way to go. It's the ultimate path to a good middle class job and the best benefits around. I remember before I was in the union, and I hate to think back to these times and remember how it used to be, but I can remember my kids, having a toothache and me having to wait till I got paid to be able to take them to the dentist because I didn't have insurance. So that's a huge benefit to our union families, right? Our members' families, but also to the community, right? We are a path to the middle class, and our members are more productive members of society. So it benefits the community as a whole, I believe.
Yeah. What does solidarity mean to you?
Solidarity is when we've got one of our trades that might be on strike, the other trades honoring that strike. That is solidarity. Solidarity is us sticking together as workers for a better outcome for ourselves and our families.
Tell me about one union brother or sister that has really impacted your life.
Man, Mike, that's a tough one because I've worked with so many amazing people, and I've personally have had so many amazing opportunities. This is my 26th year on staff. So I have gotten to do things in this union that other reps and organizers will probably never face, right? I've been able to work on campaigns all over this country. So that's a tough one, and I don't want to leave folks out because there's been so many people that have impacted my life and my career. But going back to the early days, David Town was our assistant business manager down here at the time that I started as an organizer. And he was an awesome mentor that I try to model some of the things I do after also. Like the way he would explain when I would go to ask him for advice. A lot of times in what we do as labor leaders, there is some black and white, and then there's legalities, right, that we have to work within. There's legal framework we have to work within, but a lot of it is judgment calls. And so a lot of times there might be 3 or 4 different things you can do, 3 or 4 different options that you have. And either one of them could end up being right. Sometimes one of those 4 isn't even better than the other 3. But Dave had a way of explaining those things to me and getting me to look at the bigger picture on things to make those decisions. He let me make mistakes. He let me try things my way so that I could learn from them, and just taught me so much about what we do as labor leaders. Myself and the other reps that have been around, we work hard at this every day, and we're not making the gains that we need to make to combat what's going on out there. And the only way we're going to do this is to expand that effort, and that means having membership involvement and engagement. We can't do it on our own. It's not possible. We can make small gains, but we need to be making a lot more than small gains.